Okay. Welcome to the November 13th, 2024 meeting of the Transient Guest Tax Committee. And I am going to call the meeting to order. I'm going to start with basically roll call. I'm here. Brett, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. And the other member is not here. Well, hopefully Marcus will get here soon. Okay, let's move on to Brett. If you had a chance to read the May 23rd meeting minutes.
Yes. You need me making a motion to approve?
Yes.
Move to approve.
I'll second it. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is the ice rink development agreement. We are updating because the funding, the private funding has not been set yet. So we are updating the dates and some items in the original contract. I'm not sure. Amanda, do you want to?
Sure. Sure, Committee Chair. I am happy to go over the changes real quick, and then I'm happy to turn it over to the parties that have requested it to walk you through why they need that change, if you need that, or if you deem that appropriate. So in your packet, there is a revised agreement. It's amendment number 1 to the City of Topeka contract number 52270. If you flip behind that, there is a redlined version that shows you the exact changes. The basic changes are to the funding allocation, the distribution and use section. So in the uses, the first report is slightly modified. The report was due 6 months from the date of execution of the original agreement. It's still due at that time, but it will now cover the progress and funding raising efforts in the planning and design of the facilities. And then again, if after the first 6 months there's been no progress, then any portion of the project shall be reallocated back to the city. So it requires they provide a report that shows us what progress has been made at 6 months. And then the second major change is in section 2. This deals with the project costs, making it clear, as the chairwoman said, that it changes the date to allow additional time. So instead of 2024, it'll be done in 2025 for the installation, and 2026 we'll have the final cost done. So I'm happy to stand for any questions. Those are the significant changes, is that it changes the date, as well as, in order to accommodate the date changes exactly what is required in each progress report. So happy to stand for any questions. And then the individuals representing the Downtown Topeka Foundation are here to answer any questions as to their why.
Okay. Brett, do you have any questions about the changes we have made?
No, none whatsoever so far.
Okay. Then I will turn it over to Kurt Young. I believe you're going to speak on it for us.
And I'm just going to set the stage a little bit here. I believe it was after our September or October meeting that there was some conflicting dates with that were in the original agreement that needed to be ironed out. And then also, as the chair has stated, there was some problems with our major corporate sponsor that we thought we had to pretty much on board, had backed out at the last minute. So Mr. Parrish has been gracious enough as a board member to go through the document, and I'm going to kind of let him speak to some of the finer points of what we're changing here, what we're asking for. So, Jim?
Sure. Everybody can hear okay. The original agreement had, as Kurt pointed out, some dates that were conflicting, but generally it was a good agreement, but it anticipated a much sooner development schedule and a much sooner completion timeframe. And it also envisioned a temporary rink and a permanent rink. And now that we were unable to get that funding that we counted on, the timing for that makes it pretty difficult. And the way we're looking at it now, there wouldn't need to be any temporary rink. It could all be done at once. So I think that the changes that I suggested and those are mostly incorporated by Amanda and her staff in the agreement are fine. I do have a couple of questions that I'd like to maybe get a little help from Amanda on in terms of the way the draft reads now to make sure. And this, Kurt, you'll need to weigh in on this too, if I may, Madam Chair, if that's all right, I'll proceed.
Sure.
At the top of bottom of page 2 and top of page 3, there is a requirement for a report, and the sentence at the bottom of page 2, grantees must submit documentation to the city manager confirming it has secured all the remaining funds for the installation cost. And then says on line 49, this document must be submitted by December 31st, which is in about 6 weeks. I want to be sure that, and I see Ken's on here with us, that Kurt and Ken are comfortable with that, or is that a realistic date given how soon it is going to be here?
On my copy, it is no longer December 31st. It is February 1st, 2025.
Okay, good. Well, that helps. Thank you very much. Then at the bottom of that page 3, the red line copy I have, and I hope this is accurate too, but it says completion date. And in line 65, it says January 1, 2025, and that is in about the same number of days. And I'm wondering if that shouldn't read 2026.
Mr. Parrish, I think you have a not current version. Not sure what version you're looking at, but this is the version
that's the one that was sent me.
Kurt Young negotiated with the city and asked us to present, but it does have the 2025 date and then says the city can continue to extend that upon 30-day notices to allow for additional more time.
Well, I don't know that I have a copy of that either, Amanda.
I'm not sure what to tell you. It's also in the committee packet that was posted to today's agenda,
okay,
so I can send you another copy.
Okay. Bear with me. I'm getting there.
Here, Kurt, I just sent you a copy of today's agenda.
Okay, well, I've got it pulled up here, and I apologize for not pulling that up ahead of time. Jim, it's in the meeting notice email. It's attached to the email that was sent out for the meeting notice.
I've got the agenda. Doesn't have that attachment. It's the only one I'm seeing here, but I have the red line version that was sent to me, and it doesn't matter what I have necessarily. It really matters what the council and the committee recommend the council approve. So under project completion, what is the date, Amanda, that you see in line 65 in whatever version you're reading?
Well, as requested and discussed, it does still say January 1st, 2025, but it allows extensions with 30 days written notice. that the city manager can extend that as long as needed, as long as he's receiving satisfactory progress report.
First project report isn't due to the 1st of February. And it just seems inconsistent to say that the grantee shall complete the project no later than January 1, 2025.
Mr. Parrish, if you'd like us to pull this and I can continue to work on this with you at a later date, I guess we can do that.
I don't know that we need a later date. I just need to know. I think the foundation would like to know if you're expecting us to have a completed ice rink in 6 weeks, which I can pretty well tell you we're not going to have. And if we need to start sending requests in 6 weeks for 30-day extensions, that seems a little busy, but if that's what you want us to do, we can do it. There will be nothing that's going to be completed by January 1, 2025.
Yeah, there is. I thought it was supposed to be 26, but I don't know.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, I think the best option is we pull this and make sure everyone gets on the same page, because I don't want this to flop because miscommunication. If we're all finally get on the same page, then we can work together moving forward on this subject.
Well, let me ask, are there any other issues with, on mine, it's line number 66, but are there any other questions about anything else on here that might have to be changed?
I don't think so. I think that the completion of the rink, temporary or otherwise, couldn't be done this year. It's going to be done next year if we get our funding in place. So I think I'd be satisfied with if that we had a realistic date on when the project, when we're all signing off on a document that says the project's going to be completed, since we're amending it anyway.
Amanda, can I amend that and change in line 66 to January 1st, 2026?
Yes, you can, Madam Chair.
Okay. We don't have Marcus yet, do we? Okay.
I'm here.
Madam Chair. He's here.
Oh, you are here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Marcus, are you understanding what we're talking about doing?
Let me see if I got this right. The date that they put that they would have it completed, or that they thought it was going to be completed, now needs to be changed because the date that if I'm wrong here, that they set is not attainable.
Right now in this version, it says January 1st, 2025.
Right. Is that the date that they agreed upon when we made the agreement? Just to make I just want to make sure I'm on the same page with that.
No,
I believe they think that they need an extra year.
Okay. So, all right. I'm okay with extensions if we can do it. If what they're asking is if you want us to, if we want them to provide a progress report, I guess the progress report that the first one they would provide is that they were not able to attain the deadline that they had placed and that they need extension. That's an update to me. But if that's what they're going to do, that's fine. But I want to make sure that we were all on the same page when we made the agreement, even though we know that it's okay on our end that we're extending it if we can do so.
well, I think it would have been, and unfortunately, I don't have the original document here, that we would have agreed to a January 1st, 2025 project completion date. I think where that date came from was there was an expectation that this year there would have been temporary ice rink that would have been done by then, but the permanent ice rink would not have. There is no way we ever planned on having it done by January 1st of 2025.
Then that was my confusion as well. because I was under the thought that although we went with the permanent, that was still going to be the same timeline of having
Right.
something to do this year.
Yeah.
That was my impression when we originally agreed to do so.
So from a logical perspective, at this point, with no temporary rink and going straight to a permanent rink, January 1st, 2026 would be a reasonable expectation for a completion date.
Okay. And do we have optimism on your end that that is not just a optimal, not just a hope, but a no, we can do that by then? Obviously, we don't know the future. I get that, but
we to the best of our knowledge, I mean, our funding for this is from three different components.
correct.
And the largest portion of that is a single request for $400,000. We thought we were close to having that sealed up when we negotiated this the first time. Now we are negotiating with a second potential sponsor. For me to sit here, I wouldn't, I can't say for 100% certain that that one's going to produce results, but it's more optimistic. I'm more optimistic about it probably than I was the first one, or as optimistic at least.
Okay.
We're not grasping at straws here. Let's put it that way. This is a bona fide effort with a lot of moving parts.
I think Councilman Miller's questions is on point, though. We
Yes.
want this to drag out forever. We want to present realistic expectation. And I think the original contract was put together fairly hurriedly with some expectations for funding that didn't materialize. So now that we're cleaning it up, I think targeting a completion date a year from January 1 is pretty realistic. Certainly, if we don't have it done by then, a lot of us are putting time in working on it. We like to spend time doing something else that isn't going to make it.
Understand.
There's a lot of work and a lot of effort. It's something good for Topeka and that the foundation is attempting to do, but we rely on these large grants and gifts from people that are in businesses that are also interested in it. And I think we're really close. But it is a pertinent question, and we're probably as close as, the foundation has done quite a bit over the last number of years in improving downtown. So we have a little bit of track record. We have some pretty good donors and some pretty loyal supporters. That makes me a little bit more optimistic, Madam Chair, that we can get it done by that date.
Okay. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. I would like to see that February update being more of a financial update of, are we on a good path in these next 90 days of having something tangible for this taxpayer's dollar?
That makes sense.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Then I am going to amendment number 1, line 66, from January 1st, 2025 to January 1st, 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against? Okay, that passes. Now I have one more question on this. And this is for Amanda. Do we have any problems with the, chart that is on page 4? Since those figures may change for the cost. Are we married to these numbers, or is this kind of like a projected cost that we'll be okay with?
This is the best projected cost that they have provided us for it. In an ideal world, we would like additional costs, but it gets you close enough to what you need, and there's a limit to what they can get out of TGT funds. So I think we're fine.
Okay. So then I am looking for a motion to approve amendment number 1 of the contract 52270.
Move to approve the amendment.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that would be 3-0. So now I'm going to go with that being finished, and I'm going to move on to some quick updates. I do not know if we got the quick slideshow on the 3 projects that are ongoing right now. So I'm going to do a quick verbal. On Constitution Hall, to this year, they have gotten a distribution so far of $15,923. Their total budget is $355,000, and so far they have received $244,110. Right now, they are still in construction, and the work is on schedule, and planning for the historic site, the interpretation of the historic site is underway. So they are on track. Evergy Plaza. To date, or year to date, they have received $154,078. The total budget that we were hoping they would receive was $3,435,000. So far, they have received $2,282,362. And Tanya, I can get you this. So far for 2024, they have attracted over 10,000 visitors in the third quarter through festivals like Fiesta Mexicana and India Malay. Not sure how to pronounce that. For fourth quarter, their winter programming includes the Mayor's tree lighting and Miracle on Kansas Avenue parade. So they seem to be on track also. Our third group is the Jayhawk Theater. Year to date, they have received $30,502. Their total budget is $680,000. So far, they have received $451,818. They are working on their interior demolition, the alley foundation restoration, and they signed their contract. Cindy is their contractor, and they have submitted more grants to receive approximately $1.5 million if life is good. So they're on track. The other thing I want to note, because they were our project, is Evel Knievel has closed the museum and they are in process of moving to Las Vegas. So that will take care of our updates of our projects. I do not have anything else. Brett, do you have anything else?
No, thank you for the updates on all that.
Okay. I'm assuming Marcus, it looked like he was on the phone. I don't think he has anything else to add. So if there's no other business, we're adjourned. Thank you for taking time to come to the meeting.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.